right. Okay, we are with the infamous Demetra K. And it's your Saturday. You took the time out to come support me and see what's going on for our show and stuff. And Victoria Baca, criminal Victoria Baca, I'm going to have to say that because that's my impression of her.
Okay.
But if you want criminals in office, hey, it is what it is.
Okay.
We had this meeting. What was your take initially on the meeting and what went down? Just give us a background on what you saw.
Well, initially, the meeting was supposed to start at 10, but I think it got started around 10:45 or so, which, it happens. It was a small venue, very small, like a coffee something.
The Berry Bean.
A handful of people first showed up, and I would say maybe 30 people
at the most showed up
there.
And most of those people were not from District 1.
Right. So from what you tell me.
Yeah.
Few people I recognized, a few people I didn't. However, once the meeting did get started, Victoria Baca, Mayor Pro Tem or whatever her title is, I was rather confused on what the premise of the meeting was. I understand it was a meet and greet, but she pretty much it was like a total of 5 minutes, this meeting, and she said, there's a library coming here and a hotel or something like that. And don't believe, what I think it is now that I remember, I think because I think she's getting ready to be recalled or potentially be recalled.
Right. Put on the ballot.
I think she wanted people to know, don't believe the hype.
Okay.
Because that's pretty much what she kept saying. Don't believe all the negative stuff you hear. It's really, Moreno Valley is really a great place to live and this, that, and the other. And bam, it was done. Now, because she did say that I would meet with people maybe one-on-one or, speak to people.
Then why have a public forum?
Right. But when she got done speaking, which was 5 minutes of this, that, and listen, I'm not really slow, but I couldn't really ascertain as to why she called people out to a meet and greet. And it was, I was confused as to her.
Yeah, you've been on the seat for 2 years. You don't know who your constituents are?
I was confused as to why she was having the meeting. Okay, and so after she did her speech and stuff, two people, one being you, another guy, I think his name was Roy.
Right.
He asked a question.
He asked it first. He shouted out.
He blurted it out. Mm-hmm. And then once she answered his question, and you guys will see the footage, once she answered his question, then you, Donovan, you said, okay, that's great, but can you tell us what you specifically are doing for the district? Really, as loud as I'm speaking. And she literally ignored you. Just like you weren't even there. And so again, you repeated, they don't see it, you repeated it. But to me, I was like, you weren't being rude. Mm. You weren't being belligerent.
Was it a hard question?
It wasn't a hard question. To me, if you're asking somebody, what have you specifically done for the district? To me, if you were specifically have done something, you'd be able to say, hey, I put some sidewalks in.
You would use the word I.
Or,
right?
I'm bringing in this, that, and the other for the kids. And whether it's a swing set, I've done it. But she didn't even address you at all. She did like a 360. And I thought that was rather weird. And I'm thinking, okay, so are you trying to be the city council person of the entire district?
No.
Or just certain people?
No. Victoria Baca has always said that. She only represents certain people.
Okay, then that makes sense to me because I know you live here. You're probably one of the longest living residents here. And so to not answer your question to me says I'm not interested in anything you have to say or anything that you're doing, any of that. I don't care about you. I only care about the people who are, excuse my French, are going to suck up to me, who are going to ask me or give me the softball question, something that I can answer, something that's not.
That makes me look good.
Right. I mean, to me, there's no way you should not know if you're a city council person that people are going to hold you accountable. Because before you get on the seat, you tell people in a roundabout way, if not specifically, hold me accountable.
Right.
And so that now people are holding you accountable. You don't want to be accountable. You don't want to answer to it. I find that rather odd. And then somebody who shall remain nameless, he comes up to you and he's telling you, well, it was your delivery. It was how you said it. But those who will see the video will probably say, well, I don't see anything you said wrong.
And it was no different than the other guy.
No different. But listen, this is why I'm going to throw a little bit of the race card in here.
All right.
You're an angry black man. How dare you ask this, Mexican woman who is not a black woman, how dare you speak to her that way? That's kind of what I heard. And so I had to chime in, not to interrupt y'all conversation. Like, hold on a second. I was standing way over there and I heard it and I didn't hear him say anything that was out of line to this woman. So go on over there with all that mess. that this man approached her in a foul way. He did not. Cute, and it's it's an easy narrative to go to because that's what they'll go try to do is spin it. Oh, well, Donovan was talking to her crazy, but thank God you got it on video.
I got it on video.
So, but I just like to say to you, you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you did what you're supposed to do. As somebody who's representing you, you're supposed to hold her accountable. She did not want to be held accountable. Plain and simple.
Got it.
All right, Mr. Sadiq. We just got back from Victoria Baca's, I guess you want to call it a meet and greet. She wanted to meet with people. What was your initial, what did you think you were going there to hear?
Well, first of all, as probably the third or fourth longest serving person in this district behind Roy and his father, I was excited that she finally was having a meeting for us as constituents in the district. I was ecstatic about that because it's long overdue.
Right.
We hadn't heard from her. She's working on the Villagosa campaign. She hasn't done, as far as I'm concerned, from what I see as a constituent, we haven't heard anything about what had happened. So she has the meeting. I show up. She shows up. I tell her good morning. Of course, she just walks right past me, which is fine. Like I said, an 80-year-old woman, and she's still got these.
You said 80?
Yeah. Well, she looks 80. I've got skin hanging off.
Oh my God.
But I mean, we got to grow up. When are we going to have the adults in the room? I mean, I don't have to like you. Don't have to like me. Why would you run for office and you don't want to be held accountable to your constituents?
Well, so when you went, you pretty much knew you were going to ask her at least one question.
I was going to ask her one question.
Did you think that she was going to treat you, a constituent, the way she treated you?
Yes.
You knew that?
Yes, because unfortunately, she walks around with a chip on her shoulder, and she feels that anybody that helped in the recall of her the first time and says anything negative about her is an enemy. And you can have that attitude, but number one, just like the Democratic Club of Moreno Valley will tell you, Radine Ayers and tell you, I had nothing to do with that recall. I agreed with it. I didn't get no signatures. I didn't do any of those things. I just happened to agree if you're an unethical candidate, like I've done on my show, I'm going to point that out. So I knew that, she doesn't have a liking for me. But as adults, you might work for an employer you hate, but you're working there, correct?
All right, so let me ask you this. True or false? She walks around like an untouchable celebrity.
True.
And why do you say it's true?
Well, it's just her demeanor. I mean, she figures I'm backed by Highland Fairview, and Ido Benvisi is a good friend of mine. I've got the money. I've got the agenda. And notice she said that at the meeting today, and you're going to see it on the video, where she's saying that everything that she said in this meeting was we. We know that Kid Kraberis, who can't wipe his ass, he's paid for and bought by Highland Fairview. Mm-hmm. We know that idiot Mayor Gutierrez, he's paid for and bought by Highland Fairview. And she's paid for and bought by Highland Fairview. That's good and great. Whatever your city agenda is, bravo. But I specifically came there to hear specifically what she has done for the district, and she couldn't articulate that.
So I'm sure, when it's all said and done, she's going to say, and her people are going to say, but thank God for video.
Yeah.
She's going to say, oh, he was rude to me.
Right.
And you're going to say,
bullshit. Look at the video. The video speaks for itself. And I couldn't understand that because I didn't come there to cause trouble. Everybody that really knows me, you can go back to LaDonna Jimson, whatever. Lost the election, lost the recall. And this shows you how people don't know politics. In the recall of Victoria Baca the first time and even in the second time, your opponent is not the other candidates. Your opponent is your constituents, the people that got to vote you in. The other candidates are there in case everybody agrees in a majority that you got to go. These are the people that we can vote for to replace you. So I wasn't her opponent in that thing. I was just another option for the people to vote for.
So you also speak about all the other people, and the other people being the people who are behind the recall. They want you to come help them and join them.
Yes.
Were they invisible? Where were they today?
You would think that these people that are saying, oh, Victoria Baca is so terrible, and she's not doing this, and she's not doing that, which there's some truth to what they're saying, and you're going to see it on the video, out of Victoria Baca's own mouth. You're going to see this. She's doing this. Not one of them. Not one of them.
Why do you think they didn't show up?
You know what? Because basically, I don't think that, like I've said on my show, if you've been following our show, it's a popularity contest. You know, it's honestly, all these people know each other. It's a popularity contest. But yet I get inbox, Donovan, we need your help with this. Donovan, we need your help with that. Why would I want to get involved in a recall?
Because you even had a few people ask or say to you, where have you been? How come you're not as involved? And what do you say to people when they ask you that?
The reason why I'm not involved is my issue has always been with the WLC is where it was located. I've always said that from the get-go. I know logistics. I'm certified in logistics, so I know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, other people don't know what they're talking about. You don't put a warehouse where they put it. That was my issue. And my other issue was the EIR. The EIR was not done correctly. I think I have a right to know if I'm going to raise my family here or whatever, that they're not going to be breathing diesel gas and all these other things. And a lot of things that Highland Fairview did, as we found out through the court litigation, they were wrong. So having everybody go against each other and get upset was a waste of time to come to find out that we were right all along. Just do the EIR correctly, and if it's done correctly, have at it, Ito. But he knows, just like everybody else knows, that environmentally, this project is not sound.
So what do you say to people? Because I heard quite a few people come up to you and say, we need to work together. One lady even told you need to come on and with us in our meetings and when we're working together. Well, what initially do you think when you hear all these people say, let's work together? But none of those people, except for one lady, I think one or two ladies who were there, when you asked your question, said, yeah, answer his question. If we're working together, how come? See, because when I get the impressions, it's like we want you to come work with us on our agenda, but we won't even help you get a simple question answered as to what are you specifically doing. So what does that mean to you?
Well, like I said, in politics makes strange bedfellows. And what have I always said since I got involved in Moreno Valley politics? You fix up my district and catch us up to the rest of the districts, you won't hear from me.
Right.
And when people are asking me, when they say that, oh, come join us, they're saying, agree with us.
Right.
No matter what, agree with
my
us.
agenda.
Right. But when I say, wait a minute, before I do that, you got to show me what you're going to do for me. It's a get compromise.
Right.
Definitely word of compromise. But basically, when they say that to me, they come up to me, no, you got the money, you've got the backing, whatever. So you guys have got that more so political power because you're backed by deep pockets. So you've got all that. Why should I join you and you're not showing me anything that you're even interested in my concerns and my issues in this district? And Victoria Baca showed no interest in the district or what was going on. She couldn't articulate it.
One final question. Name 3 things you could have did this Saturday morning with your Saturday morning opposed to going to that meeting.
Right. I have a friend that's in town this week, and we were in Hollywood last night. We went to the Santa Monica Pier. I didn't get home till 1 a.m. And I could have slept in, number 1. Number 2, I could have walked my dog, which is what I usually do on a Saturday morning. I could have cut my grass at my house. I could have ate a decent breakfast. I mean, I could go on and on what I could have done. But again, I'm going to say this about people in District 1. You're going to see it's the same people fighting the same battle. And what I don't understand out of all of this bull crap is you're going to hear people like Radine Ayers and Denise Fleming and all these people. And I'm not throwing people under the bus. I'm just talking about the candidates that we know that are running, in districts. You might have to work with Victoria Baca. Why didn't you come to this meeting?
Right.
You're saying that she's such a terrible person, but you didn't show up to a public meeting.
So how's that working together stuff working for you?
Right. It doesn't make sense to me. And here's another thing. Good thing you said that. You want me to work together. You say, here's a meeting. I show up to see what's going on and maybe to pass ideas. You don't have to agree with me, but this is my stance. Where's your stance? I was there. Where's everybody else?
Well, and specifically, and I know I said that my last question was my last question, but she kept using the word we. We are. So you have this election that's coming up. Right. You have several districts that are going to be up for re-election.
And mayor.
And mayor. Now, the mayor was there. Okay, that's her homie. But where were all the other candidates for mayor? Where were all the candidates,
no
potential candidates, I should say, for all the districts? Where were they?
They weren't there.
So she used this word "we" a lot,
right?
But none of them showed up.
None of them showed up. Gutierrez showed up because he's on the right tit of Victoria Baca, and he suckles off of that. But this is what I don't understand. These people talk about how terrible Victoria Baca, and then again, I'm on video. I'm not trying to run the woman down, and you're going to see in the video. I asked as a reporter, because I am the IE informer, a fair question. She didn't shut the meeting down. To me, it was no different than a Sarah Huckabee Sanders
press conference,
where you just say, hey, wait a minute, you know, are you going to answer this? And you're going to see in the video, it was a fair question. It wasn't a hard question. If you think it is wrong, as a longtime constituent as I am, all I wanted her to hear and say was I didn't want to hear we. If I wanted to hear we, I can go to the city council meeting and hear that. I don't want to hear about the other districts. I want to hear from my representative what you specifically have done that nobody else has done. She could have said, I championed the library in our district. I championed that new restaurant coming through it. I was on top of that. But see, she couldn't say that because she knows for the last 2 years, she has been seen nowhere in this district.
One more follow-up. Word of wisdom to the voters. What would you say if you had to give them one thing that helped them make the right decision when they walk into that voter's booth? What would you tell them?
One thing I'm going to tell you, and I'm not saying this out of spite or whatever, because everybody knows I'll work with anybody. I got Ito's personal cell phone number in my thing. If Ito has a problem with me or whatever, he calls me. And we talk about it, and he corrects the issue or gives me clarification. I have no problem with that because I'm not all-encompassing. But I'm going to tell you this as a voter. Number one, if Victoria Baca does get put on that recall ballot, she needs to be recalled. It's as simple as that. And people say, well, why should we recall her? Absenteeism. She had the reason why she couldn't answer a very simple question like that, and you could see it. She feels she's unaccountable to her constituents. Do as I say, not as I do. She has that mentality, and she feels that she is entitled to be where she's at. She knows she can't run for mayor because she's totally unpopular. But here she is in the district, and she could not articulate one thing that she has done at all in the district. So why were we here? Why were we here? And that's my question. I mean, I'm telling you that, and do your research on these other candidates that are going to run, because you could recall Victoria Baca and then put in a Victoria Baca, and we're right back to square one, which has been happening the last 4 to 6 years, and that's our biggest problem. But to ask me to do these recalls and stuff, it's just funny. I lost my election twice. I ran twice. Okay, no big deal if that's your decision. But yet I am still informing you what is going on. And the people that say she's such a terrible person, well, where were you at? If she's so terrible, why aren't you out there picketing and meeting with her and doing all that? I didn't see one person. Even the last, and I'm not throwing her on the bus, these are just facts. LaDonna Jimson, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Rating Ayers, nowhere to be found. Dave Marquez, he's on the council, nowhere to be found. This is a big popularity contest, so be very careful of who you vote in and research your candidates. Just because they look like you doesn't mean they're for you. That's what I'm going to tell you.
To everybody that's a business community. Thank you for the residents of District 1 for being here. Thank you to my family for being here. Not everyone could be here. My daughter had to work today. You know that she's my right-hand lady, but she had to work, unfortunately, today. And I'm like, what happened? And I had some of my good friends that had to go out of town, but you know what? We're here. We're here. So I just want to say I'm very enthused about what's happening in Moreno Valley. We're a growing community, and you know we're only about 30 years old. So we're really a baby community, you know, next to Riverside that's, what, 200 years old? About 100 years. And we have the Mark Air Force that's turning 100 years old. So we're really just a growing community, but there's a lot of things that are going on. And I want to introduce someone that's very, very important, someone that I'm very proud of, someone that you're very proud of, and someone that you elected to represent us. And that's our mayor, Dr. Exton Gutierrez. So let's give him a hand. Being here, Mayor. Thank you very much.
I'm happy to be here and support you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So, My name is Victoria Baca, as you all know, and this is District 1, and District 1 is the capital of the city. We have our city hall here, we have our public safety, our police department, and we have great things happening in District 1. We're a growing community. If you drive down Day Street just to the west of us, you'll see that there's a lot of building going on, lots of building. We have about 3 hotels that are coming in to District 1. So 3 new hotels. We have new restaurants that are coming in, and we have building coming in. We have a seniors project for senior citizens coming in very soon that will be built in Edgemont. So we have a lot of good things that are happening in Moreno Valley. Don't listen to the naysayers that say, you know what, District 1 is no good. District 1 is poor. District 1 is, has a lot of troubles. No, we're developing a lot in District 1. So be proud of where you live and be proud of the city of Moreno Valley. We have a new library in District 1 at the mall. So we have an old library down on Alessandro, but recently we opened a new library for our families, and that has so much traffic, and people are bringing their kids, and they're so happy with the new facility. And if you haven't gone there, please visit our new library and take advantage. Go on the computer, check out books, and just come in and relax. You have free Wi-Fi, and it's available even afterwards outside of the library. So there's a lot of good things that are happening. We have in the past 4 years in Moreno Valley, we have over 14,000 new jobs. So people are coming to Moreno Valley to work. We're getting people off the freeways. People complain about the congestion on the freeways. How you doing? Well, we're building here in Moreno Valley, and we're getting people off the freeway, and that's what we want, right? That's right. And Moreno Valley is also home to the World Logistics Center. And just recently, the City Council renamed Theodore Street, one of our exits, World Logistics Center Parkway. So the hundreds of thousands of cars that go down the 60, either east or west, whether you're leaving Moreno Valley or coming into Moreno Valley, coming and going from Palm Springs, Arizona, and what have you, are going to see that big sign that say World Logistics Center Parkway. So we're advertising that we're a growing city. And this is a big development, and we have all kinds of cities and all kinds of people that are so jealous of what we're doing that they're criticizing us. But you know what? It's okay, because you know what? We're thick-skinned and we're tough in Moreno Valley, and we're proud of the World Logistics Center. We had lots of people collecting signatures to bring this project, and everybody wants this project around it. But you know what? The World Logistics Center is going to be built here in Moreno Valley, and we're creating jobs to get your people, your children, your cousins, your neighbors jobs, and getting them off the freeway. So, who can complain about that? It's our duty and our responsibility as the leaders in the community to do what's best to improve the way of life for our residents here in Moreno Valley. So we have lots of things that are going on, and we're going to continue doing that. We have the hospital that's growing, so we're looking at healthcare. We have an aging population. We have a lot of babies being born. We have people that are with illnesses that need these services. And what are we doing? We're providing for our residents. So, I'm so happy that I'm the Mayor Pro Tem, that I represent District 1 in Moreno Valley. So thank you so much for being a part of what I'm doing. Thank you for being a part of what's happening in Moreno Valley, because we're growing. And this is a place, this is a city where people want to come. People want to work here, play here, live here, work here. There's a lot of things that are going on. We have partnerships with our school district. We have partnerships with the colleges. So my platform was, what's important to the community? We did a poll. People said public safety. We have a very good police department. We have things that are happening in our police department, public safety. They're reaching out to the community. And here in Moreno Valley, our police department works with the community. They go to the schools. They have community meetings so that people could come out and hold the public officials accountable, the public safety department accountable, and ask questions face to face. We have meet the police officers at different restaurants, different times of the year, when the community can come out and have a one-to-one, coffee with a cop. You come out, just like here, and you have the opportunity to speak to your police officers on a one-to-one basis. That's great, because the parents can bring their children and introduce them to the police officers, because what we need to do as a community is raise children that respect their adults, but most importantly, that respect our public official, that respect our police, because that's how we're going to change things. And we have societal problems across the nation. You're hearing about shootings and you're hearing about what's happening, crime, but in Moreno Valley, we do things differently. We bring the police officers out to the community to meet with you, your families, and so your children can come close and become friends to our police officers. We also have currently, our police department is doing is training everyone in our school district, and that means from the superintendent all the way down to the kids on an active shooter. So we're training them to know what to do in case, and heaven forbid that we have a shooter in one of our schools. You know, it's unfortunate that we hear about it, you know, happening in different, you know, locations, and I hope to God that it never happens here in Moreno Valley. But if it does, at least we know what to do. So we're being proactive in that aspect. When it comes to education, we have partnerships. We've given the community college, Moreno Valley College, we've given them funding, thousands of dollars, so that your kids that want to go to the community college, and if they're eligible, they can get the first year of education completely free. Please access that, and that's for the community of Moreno Valley. That's for our youth. We have a big interest in making sure that our young people are educated. So, and in jobs, we have the World Logistics coming, and we have lots of companies coming to Moreno Valley, and that creates local jobs. And that's what we do on the city council, is look for people to help, you know, listen to our constituents. We reach out to the community and find out what is it that you want, and that's what we do here in Moreno Valley. So we have public safety, education, and jobs. Jobs. So that's what we're all about. So you know, once again, I want to thank you for being here. You know, there's coffee. I'm going to stick around here till this afternoon, well, noon, and I'll have a one-to-one with you if you want. So,
yeah, Ms.
so much.
March 28th, the public safety meeting at 7 o'clock at the
Police department.
at the headquarters, so everybody knows.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the public safety meetings, and we're having zone meetings. So, and
The 2 zone meetings, because it's 1 and 2.
we're having the public expo on April 14th.
14.
Yeah, so bring out, and because this is a big opportunity for your kids to meet the police officer, to see your canines, and look at all the equipment that we have. So,
Ms. Baca, you
thank
always
so
talk
much.
about
And
we. What have
really
you done
have-
for District
have-
1? What have you done? You're always talking about we. Can you please tell us what you, as our representative, have done?
So I want to thank everybody for being here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So you're not going to tell us what you've done. You keep telling us what the council's done.
So if you want to be
You're not
here,
going to tell
I'm
us
gonna
what
be there.
you've done as a representative. Can we hear from you as a representative
Thank you, Mr. Sadiq.
what you've done?
I can tell you one thing she did for me. She helped me get a lot of flood control in Edgemont.
Absolutely. We want to hear that. That's what we want to hear. What have you done in specifically for the district?
It's important, yes. It's important.
I mean, this ain't a catch-22 question. What have you done?
What about another district? Everything. I'm supposed to know that.
I thought that was a fair question.
What is another?
Okay.
Let me ask you this.